It's the host with with the most. Yeah, and I'm back, and we
So
have the
you think I
part
hate white people
two
because I'm
of
partying with a bunch of
this
black women?
Black Lives Matter
First off, I've
activist,
dated white
and as you
women.
can see,
Second,
he is Caucasian,
clearly I'm from a white
and a lot of people
family.
don't like that.
I don't
But
hate
I'm
white
here to
people
try
for
to
the
bring
way
the
they
world
look. I
together. So
hate the
one
lies
podcast
they
at a
taught
time.
me.
That's
I
my
hate that they
motto.
taught me
So
that Jesus was white when
hopefully
that
you enjoy
clearly
this
wasn't
one.
fucking true.
He's
I
lived an
hate that they
interesting
taught me
life.
Columbus discovered
So
this
if
country
you're
when that
interested,
wasn't
please
fucking
check out the
true.
links
All right,
down
look at
below.
this.
I love you all.
Look at that. Am I stupid?
What was your reason for traveling so much?
So my parents got divorced when I was 9, um, and it was the first time we actually had like a really stable home, right? And it only lasted like a year, maybe a year and a half, if that. And then I wanted to go with my dad, and I couldn't because I wasn't 13, and the law wouldn't let me, and my mom wouldn't let me. So when I got the chance, I was like, I'm out of here. I'm gone. Oh, cool. You in Texas? I'm on my way. Oh, you going to China? I'm going. And then it got to the point where my dad would get transferred because he does aviation, and he would go from China to the Philippines. And he's like, "You want to stay here and go to school and everything?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm staying here. Like, cool. I got my friends. I got my school. I'm good." And he'll just pay the rent, right? I'd buy my food. I'd go to my friend's house, do my thing, and then later on, I moved to the Philippines. So it was kind of just like, get me the fuck out of small town USA, because I'm looking at all you people, and every single one of you are broke, old, angry, and drunk. Why do I want to grow up to be just like that?
Do you speak the language of the Philippines?
Putang ina mo.
I'm assuming that means yes.
The Filipinos are gonna be like, so that's, I only know the bad words, so that was a bad word, right? I only know like the bad shit because I always learned it because I wanted to know if somebody was talking shit, right?
Sense, yeah.
But I never took the energy to like learn it because everybody like spoke English, so like I never like, I regret it now because I shoulda, but yeah.
Got you, got you.
You said your pops was in aviation. Like he was a pilot, or was he in the service or something?
He's a mechanic, or he was a mechanic. Well, now he's a mechanic again. He got upgraded to like management, promotion to management. And if you're white, speak English, you get paid a shit ton more money over the seas, like in Asia, than you do here in America. So that's why he went. So yeah, he was management over there, and now he's mechanic again.
So, you being overseas, did it change your perspective on life, seeing how other people lived, experiencing different cultures, compared to being in the US or coming from a small town? Because I think a lot of people, whether what color you are, they stay within this town, within this same block or neighborhood, and they never leave, they never go nowhere, they never hold a passport, and their mind is stuck on this specific area. But when you venture out, you see that change.
Mm-hmm. You're right. They live in a bubble, and so did I, right? So like, we'll take something as simple as like education that's relatable to everybody, right? When I went to overseas, like Asia, everybody would be making fun of how stupid Americans are, right? And I'm like, no, fuck you. America's not stupid. America's not stupid. In America, to be cool, it was like girls, sports, and party, right? That was it. It was that simple, right? Or be a class clown. Over there, it was about having 4.0, right? Yeah, big difference. And the average kid over there speaks 3 to 7 different languages,
Exactly.
right? So, but I still didn't believe them because I was like, the fuck you talking about? Then I came back to America at 18 and started reassociating with that bubble. And I was like, you guys are fucking idiots.
For real.
Like, and I was like, maybe Americans, not even maybe, Americans are pretty stupid. And that's one aspect. Then you look at, okay, well, I grew up poor. But then when I lived in the Philippines, I was seeing people live in huts. Like, not to gross you out, but like we crossed Subic Bay to go to Olongapo, and we would cross the bridge, like walking the shit, and we'd have to cover our nose because it smells horrible, right? But we'd go there because the bars and the girls and the weed and all that shit, right? The fun shit. And as you're crossing, you see people living in shacks, like little huts of like 10 by 10 metal sheets, right, stacked on each other. And there would be a river, and you see a bunch of kids down there. One would be taking a bath in it, one would be pissing in it, one would be taking a shit in it, and one would be drinking it. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was just like man. I mean, it gets even deep of like, my dad warned me not to give money to the kids because you're gonna get like a cajillion kids coming around the corner begging for money. And I didn't realize it because over there we had like a lot of money because the currency difference. So like to put it in perspective, like a Big Mac here is like what, $8-9. Over there is like $1, right? So so I would give money to the kids because I felt bad, and then a shit ton of kids would come around the corner begging for money, and then the Filipino woman would be like, leave the white man alone, leave the white man alone. And then what I learned was the mafia over there grabs these kids that are either homeless or they kidnap kids, and they'll handicap them, and they'll cut their arms off, blind them, make them deaf, like whatever they got to do, right? And I don't even know if the kid gets to choose what he wants. And then they put the kid out on the street to beg for money, and in exchange, they give him a place to live and free food. But once they reach a certain age, they kick him back on the street. And this is like everyday life.
Christ, that's so god awful. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
So being poor in America is a lot better than being poor in a third world country.
Like, by far.
Especially in America, there's a lot of government assistance. In third countries, listen, when you're on your own, you're literally on your own. Nobody's coming to help you or none of that.
Yep, exactly. Jeez. And to even get a job like in the Philippines at McDonald's as like a cashier, you needed a college degree.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's very interesting. That is very, very interesting. Because I also think like America, while the educational system gets crapped on a lot, you don't even need a degree here to be successful. So that's
shit.
Wow.
I barely passed high school, right? You know, like I have no degree. So and they might have changed it over in the Philippines. I don't know if they changed the law, but I highly doubt they did.
Well, what kind of government is it? It's not a democracy over there, correct?
Well, they tried to make it a democracy. They thought it was a democracy, and then the woman president turned out to be extremely corrupt. And then now they got like this Kim Jong-un character over there who was like, even if you have an Advil, right? An Advil or a Tylenol that you buy at the store, he considers that a drug, and the police can shoot you on the spot.
Oh,
even if the police think you're high with no evidence, they can kill you on the spot.
Nah.
Yep.
That's
for a legal over-the-counter drug. That's madness.
You can't have. He has a zero drug policy. Zero.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, do you think all races should be Black Lives Matter?
Well, here's the thing, right? I think everybody should, but before they need to be educated, right? Okay. Because they're never going to just agree. Yeah, it's already been branded as like everything else they branded Black people as is thugs and rioters and black on black crime, right? So to tell somebody they have to be Black Lives Matter or for Black Lives Matter, and they ain't even educated on the issue, it just ain't gonna happen.
Gotcha.
So yeah, as much as I want it to be and be like everybody for Black Lives Matter, it's like a fantasy.
So what's your response when people come with the, well, all lives matter or blue lives matter, or consider everybody else, not just this one race?
back when they were complaining about the 2020 election and complaining about people voting by mail and everything, I was like, well, I thought all lives matter. I guess all votes don't matter. So what I learned with them is they treat everything as a cherry pick, right? Like the Bible. They pick out the Bible what they want, but they don't pick everything out the Bible. So anybody who says that, I give them a quick education, and if they still don't believe me, then it's only a matter of time till they figure it out. Because when they're crying and asking for forgiveness, or nobody gives a fuck about their current situation, they might start having a little bit of sympathy for somebody else.
For real. Prince and I were talking about.
Hang on 1 second. Yeah, come in. I'm doing an interview right now. Yeah, you need something? Yeah, you can come in. All right. What were you asking?
I said Prince and I were talking about this the other day, how when someone messes up, they always want mercy shown on them, but when someone else messes up, they want the harshest punishment for them.
Yep. It's the truth. It's the fucking truth. And it's like a mob mentality, right? So people, this is why I also don't like cancel culture, right?
Same.
Because cancel culture is like a mob mentality, right? If I'm mad at somebody for thinking the way they think, being like pro-Confederate or all lives matter, then I should be mad at my previous self at a younger age, right? I had to get educated and change as a person, change my perspective, right? So people want me to yell at them and be like, fuck you. When in reality, if I address you like that, it's only going to fuel the fire to make you say fuck you back, right?
Right.
So I have to now, if I educate you and bring all the facts and everything and treat you nothing but love and respect, and you still don't change, then it's fuck you.
Right. I agree. Yeah. I think that's the big if more people had the mentality of, all right, educate first, ask questions first before you judge.
Yep.
Because so a lot of people who are racist and who are all lives matter, they might just be one Eric Stone 10-minute conversation away from changing their life.
And it happens. Like literally, or anybody who's an activist or just speak on these fucking issues. And that's the powerful thing. Like when I started on Facebook, I realized people that were like, used to be like, oh, fuck you, or I hope you die, or this or that, right? I used to be like, fuck you too. And then I realized, oh, maybe if I give them love. So then I would just reply, love you too, with like a kissy face, right? So I get, right? So I get two responses, right, from that. I would either get, oh, you gay? And I'm like, it's okay, I still love you, right? And or I would get, hey, man, I apologize. I was having a bad day. I just lost my job. And then we'd be in an hour-long conversation about the issue, and we would find a middle ground and be like, you know what, man, you were right. I'm sorry. So
what would you say to a white supremacist who believes that they're doing something similar to Black Lives Matter, where they believe that we're just prioritizing our own race? What would your response be to that?
I would say, hasn't white people prioritized their race from the beginning?
Now,
because
what if they have the interest of staying on top? Because any race who's on top, if black people were on top, we wouldn't hope to lose that position anytime soon either.
Agreed, absolutely. But there's plenty of societies out there where people get along on a regular basis, right? So like, there's nothing. I'm more safe walking in an all-black neighborhood than a black man is walking in an all-white neighborhood.
That's a bar right there.
Right? I live in Harlem. I've never had a fight, a fist fight, a gunfight, or anything with a black man. Never.
You been to the hood too?
Was that?
You been to the hood?
Yeah, I've lived in LA. Like I used to live in MacArthur Park, look up MacArthur Park. It's one of the ghettoest, dirtiest, like gangster places in Los Angeles.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's nothing but homeless people. Everybody got a gun, right? People carrying around knives, right? One dude almost ran me over with his bike and pulled out a fucking blade, like a not even a knife, a fucking blade, like as long as my arm, ready to fight me. Yeah, that's MacArthur Park. So yeah, I've lived in it, but I've also lived in all white neighborhoods, and I've gotten more fights. Actually, all my fights have been in white neighborhoods.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah. So when people say we can't live with each other, yeah, you can. It's just they think all black people are ghetto, loud, and obnoxious, right? When in reality, you got black people living in $1 million mansions in gated communities, and they don't like loud noise either.
That's a fact.
Right? So you just got to pick where you want to live, but it doesn't mean we can't integrate.
So what if the script is flipped to where there's black people which there are, that do not like white people or always blame the white man this, white man that, and it's like I hate all whites, and it's like, black people that be like, oh, Christianity is not our religion, it was forced upon us and all this. What do you say to them?
It's like constantly getting bullied and then not be mad at the bully, right? Like if I'm constantly beat up by the bully, right, and pushed down and made fun of and spit on, and then I don't have a fuck you attitude to that bully where I want to kick his ass, I think there's something wrong with you, right? I think you should feel that way. Absolutely, because I've been bullied. When I was in school, I beat up every bully I've ever had, right? But at the same time, not everybody's a fighter, right? So I can see where it gets misconstrued because some people can think it's like a victim mentality, right? Where they think, oh, you're just complaining about the white man. But if you actually see what's really happening with these laws, they just got rid of the fucking lynching law.
Yep.
Lynching. And by the way, 3 of the 50-something Republicans voted against it.
That's crazy.
If you can't be mad at the white man for that, what can you be mad at him for?
But it's just very big on, I don't want to hear excuses. And it's like, I hold white people accountable, but I hold our own people accountable as well. Because it's like, I'm not trying to hear it. Because it's like, okay, and what are you going to do with it?
I agree with that. And it's like, but here's the thing. Most people, no matter the race, are followers, right? White, black, Asian, don't matter, right? Most people are followers. Very few are leaders, right? That's why most people get a job. They ain't the boss, right? There's very few Harriet Tubmans, Martin Luther Kings, Malcolm X is out there, right? Martin Luther King. Most people don't want to take that chance.
A lot of people think they are, though.
A lot of people think they are until it's time to actually be a leader. Right. So when you have, like, I got white, I don't want to specify who they are because I don't want to throw them out. Like, they'll get busted eventually, and I call them out on a regular. But they're like, oh, well, we say racist jokes at our job all the time, and the black guy laughs. I'm like, have you ever thought about he's laughing because he doesn't want to get fired? Right? Because it's not a big corporation, and the company doesn't even have that much money, so he can't even win a big lawsuit if he even sued you. Like, did you even take that in consideration? It's called survival. He's thinking about the bigger picture. He has a family to feed, right? Or take care of himself. So, yeah, you could misconstrue it with a victim mentality, but you could also say that to poor white people who complain about everything. They just complain about a completely different thing. They complain about the government being corrupt, and everybody's out to get them, and whatever the case may be. But in reality, they have every advantage. Okay. I grew up poor. When I first got to LA, I have old photos of me like shaggy as hell, right? And all I had to do was clean up, okay? Put on a nice suit that I got at Ross, make it look like a $300 suit, which really was like 20, 30 bucks, right? My shoes were all scuffed up, but they couldn't see it at night. And I could walk in the room and be surrounded by celebrities, okay? I've been to these same events where my black friends invited me, okay? And the receptionists would automatically assume I was the guy on the list. And I would be like, no, they invited me. Well, sir, you're still good to go in. No, I'm the +1. They're coming in. Well, they're not look at the list.
That's crazy.
Right? So, yeah, it's a victim mentality to an extent.
Right, I agree.
But you need somebody to fucking grab the reins. And every time you got somebody that grabs the reins, we assassinate them. So, yeah.
What was good?
Because I was having this conversation, and so you take Jews for example. You know, they've been through what they've been through. Their version of slavery, it wasn't as long as ours, but they're 40 acres and a mule. Majority of Jews live in an illustrious life. They got their reprimands, you know, when it comes to the Jews. So how come they got theirs, and for us, we got the short end of the stick? You know, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm really too fond of Jews, because no,
I feel the same way. So you don't, and this is why I won't ever work for Hollywood, because you can't. Jews and gays run Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right. And this is why Nick Cannon apologized immediately.
Exactly. Whoopi Goldberg.
Same shit. Same shit. Now, it was about race. So what Whoopi said was technically, anybody that knows Hitler, it was about race, right? But they shouldn't have suspended her and took her off the show. They should have educated her. But two, Jews.
If you made it this far, you might as well subscribe. 93% of y'all are not subscribed, but watch. Come on now.
Have been given everything in return for the bullshit they went through.
Yep.
The Japanese who we bombed during World War II and Pearl Harbor shit, right? They got reparations, right? Every race besides Native Indians and Black people have got reparations.
So, real quick, did the Jews get reparations from America? Because I know Hitler was the German guy. I think Germans they probably give a hefty sum to
Germans.
Absolutely.
They didn't get reparations from
Germany.
Oh, they didn't.
So who did they get them from? I know they got them. I just don't know from who.
They got it from the U.S.
Interesting.
See, I got to read up on this because I don't know the facts on this.
Yeah, same. Because that one. Yeah, go ahead.
What I can say about Germany, because I got German friends, right, is what they did was, which is the U.S. is not doing, is they put educational statues and everything to dehumanize Hitler and what he did, and make sure everybody. Oh, did you freeze? Oh, okay. I thought you froze up. My bad. And to make sure everybody was educated on what Hitler did was wrong, right? We haven't done that in the United States. We got statues of Confederates standing with pride, saying Robert E. Lee was a great man. When in fact, we need statues of John Brown, who was a white man who went around killing slave owners. Right? They don't want to teach us about John Brown because it might encourage other white people to step up. Right? They teach them about Robert E. Lee because they want to keep that same mindset.
They're taking curriculum in school. Certain schools are taking that out the curriculum.
Yep. They're taking Martin Luther King out the curriculum. They're taking, I didn't even fucking learn about Malcolm X. You know how curious I was about Malcolm X? I was like, who the fuck is Malcolm X? To my 20s, I didn't know about Malcolm X. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't know about I'm from Oklahoma, born in Oklahoma. Oklahoma City is what, an hour, maybe hour and a half drive to Tulsa, where the Black Wall Street happened.
Black Wall Street,
Yep. Was it in our Oklahoma history books?
Michael Todd.
They might have updated it. I doubt they did, but it wasn't when I was in high school, and I was in high school in 2008, 2009. Right? Just finishing up. So it's the reason why Jews got it. Asians are acceptable, right? White people get along with Asians. Okay?
Yep.
Jews are acceptable because, well, they have the same complexion. They might have a different religion, but they got the same complexion. So unless you tell me you're Jewish, I probably won't be able to identify you as a Jew, right? Yeah. Unless you have a distinct.
Germany gave the reparations. They definitely did.
Was it? Yeah.
Germany gave the reparations. Yeah.
Oh, did you Google it?
Yeah, that's how I was looking at my phone.
Okay, cool. So glad we got that. So they got reparations. Everybody got fucking reparations. And I'm sure the Jews in America probably got reparations from America. I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So the fact that there's been a resistance to get Black people or Native Indians reparations in this country or just in the world is ridiculous. I mean, look at Ukraine right now. They got everybody leaving Ukraine, and they're preventing Black people from changing borders, right? And the United Nations confirmed this.
Yeah.
Right? Black people have been dehumanized for so long. It don't matter where you live, people look at them as not human.
Mm.
So they don't care. And that's where they need to get educated. When I grew up watching or being taught a certain way of how a certain group of people are, and then I actually lived in those communities and realized I was completely wrong, that's where the education started. And I found out when I was, put it this way, when I was homeless, not one white person, not one, rich or poor, helped me out financially. Every Black person, every Filipino, every Latina invited me to their home, gave me food, water, gas money, paid my cell phone bill, every fucking one of them. Not one white person, except for one really good friend of mine, let me borrow $3. That was it. And I paid him back that $3.
You ever thought about writing a book?
That's what I'm working on. I'm going to write 2 books. I'm going to write The White Narrative with my nonprofit, and we're going to get into the school systems, and then we're going to write a book about my life to get that shit out there.
Most definitely.
Dope.
Yeah.
So the last question I have for you is, how would you respond to someone who says BLM is a terrorist organization?
I would ask them what they do in their everyday life. When I came back to Dallas, I stayed in an Airbnb, and the guy that was living there as the hostess never left the house, sat on the couch all day watching Fox News. But he had strong opinions about everything that was going on in the world, whether it be abortion and Black Lives Matter. I'm like, what experience do you have to back up your opinion? Have you lived in Black communities? Have you been to a Black party? Do you have more than one Black friend that you work with who you think is your friend, but as soon as you clock out, he doesn't know who the fuck you are? Right? Like, what are you doing outside of your circle to actually understand what these things are? Because the same people who say Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization think that the Capitol riots and insurrection was heaven's saints from the gods.
Me personally, I don't really like to watch the news because the news are the same people that tell us that all white people are racist and the same people that tell us that all black people are criminals. So it's just, it's go off, live life, talk to people.
Exactly. It don't matter if you're CNN or Fox; they both do the same shit.
Yeah.
So
good.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I hope I brought some light to you, and
for sure.
Thank you for having me on, and if you ever want to hit me up, just hit me up. I'm available.
Thank you so much. This has been great. Thank you.
Definitely, and of course, man, great meeting you both. And send me the info so I can tell everybody to go watch it.
Oh, for sure.